But there's something else I found out in my research too, which is that half the men who enlist in the military were physically abused as children, and half the women who enlist in the military were sexually abused as children, and many were both. So we have an enormous number of people enlisting to get away from dysfunctional, violent, and otherwise horrible homes. This is changing a little bit now with the economy. With the recession, recruitment has gone up for the first time since 9/11, when incidentally, contrary to popular belief, it plummeted. But people are signing up, and in fact, proportionally more women are signing up than men, because jobs are scarcer than ever. So the balance of the people signing up to escape dysfunctional homes is shifting a little bit now, but it's still an enormous number. This wasn't really the case for Jen, though. Her parents were having a bad time in their marriage, and she did want to get out of the house, but that's not what drove her to the military. She wanted the adventure and the challenge and the excitement of it. So she joined the reserves, and she started college, and then 9/11 happened and everything changed. And soon she was sent off to Kuwait. And I'll read you a little bit about her arrival in Kuwait. The stench was overpowering, strong enough to make Jen recoil as she stepped out of the military plane into the Kuwait night. She had no idea what it was. Rotting garbage, burning oil fields, dead bodies. She only knew it smelled nothing like Racine, Wisconsin. The air was so thick that the inside of your nose, your ears was completely black, she told me. It was disgusting. Cramped and exhausted from 18 hours of flying, she and the other fresh soldiers filed down the airplane stairs and into a waiting bus. It was February 2003, the month leading up to the invasion, and they were to be driven to Camp Arifjan, a huge US military base south of Kuwait City, to wait for the war. On the way, she huddled her small frame into her seat, her blonde hair tucked under her army beret, wishing she could at least glimpse whatever there might be to see in the night outside. But the soldiers were forbidden to open the curtains or even peek out. She felt as if she were being delivered to war blindfolded. When she reached the camp and climbed off the bus, she found herself in a vast complex of warehouses and tents, surrounded by coils of razor wire. To her surprise, the desert floor was as hard as a sidewalk, but covered with a layer of sand so fine it puffed up like baby powder at each step. Later, she learned that soldiers called the sand moon dust. She and the other new arrivals were ordered into a long metal warehouse the size of an airplane hangar, stuffed with thousands of green army cots, almost every one occupied by a man. Jen was to sleep, an arm's length away from her neighbor on either side, face to foot to minimize the spreading of disease. If she needed a bathroom, she would have to weave her way across the room with all those men watching her. She lay down and changed her clothes inside her sleeping bag, feeling a long way from home. The building reeked of sweat and feet and the musty tang of masculine bodies. Jen was one of only 4 women in a platoon of 34 men, and one of 20 women in a company of 213. She was to live and work in close quarters with those men for the next 7 months. Camp Arifjan is known as one of the most dangerous bases for women soldiers in the Middle East. Built by the Kuwaiti government for American troops, it held about 10,000 service members and private contractors when Jen was there, almost all of them male. They call Camp Arifjan Generator City because it's so loud with generators that if a woman screams, she can't be heard, said another soldier who passed through. They were saying the number of rapes that were happening on base by soldiers were very high, and they told us not to travel anywhere without another soldier. Jen heard these rumors of rape as well, for rumors are the bread and butter of the military. I tried very hard not to pay attention to all that stuff. I didn't want to believe it was happening, but I heard there were several rapes there, not even only of females, of guys too, but they never filed charges against anyone. It soon became routine for platoon leaders to order their women soldiers never to go outside at night without a female companion, not just at Arifjan, but on all bases. Many resented this. Staff Sergeant Liz O'Heron told me, She was with the Air National Guard in Iraq in 2006. They tell us, after we hit the deck from an incoming mortar shell, that we shouldn't walk alone at night on base, we, as in females. How am I supposed to track down another female to go eat when I want to, shower when I want to? Females aren't exactly crawling around this joint. Screw you. You deploy me here and tell me it's not safe for me to walk alone to get a bite to eat because I'll probably get raped by one of my own.